set as a priority. France says it is finalizing plans to hand over the 40 billion CFA francs Paris pledged to help reconstruct the northwest and the southwest regions. And there will be fun-filled moments at this country's popular sites this weekend, with Henri Dikonge celebrating his 25th anniversary in music. The details now. Thanks for watching the 7:30 news on CRTV. I am Moki Edwin Kinzeka in Yaoundé.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
The hurdles transporters go through along the N'Djamena-Yaoundé-Bangui corridors have been discussed today in Yaoundé by Chad's Minister of Infrastructure and Transport, Ahmad Abakar Adji, and his Cameroonian counterpart, Jean-Ernest Messina Ngale Bibehe, ways of harmonizing transport tariffs and tackling double truck immatriculation were discussed. We have details with Beatrice Ngom.
It started like a courtesy visit, but ended up being a working session. The ambassador of Chad to Cameroon, flanked by the Minister of Infrastructure and Transport of Chad, plus other top-ranking officials involved in the transport sector in Chad, met with Cameroon's Minister of Transport and his collaborators to discuss some of the problems in the land, water, air, and maritime transport sectors. But most disturbing was the problem of transporters on the Douala and N'Djamena-Bangui corridors. The Chadian delegation raised concerns over the collection of high duties on transit goods and the problem of double number plate registration. After the discussions, both countries concluded that tariffs on transit goods need to be harmonized and the problem of transporters operating with a Cameroonian and Chadian number plate for fraudulent purposes on this corridor tackled once and for all.
The French ambassador to Cameroon says France is working on how to disburse the 40 billion CFA francs Paris promised to reconstruct the northwest and the southwest regions. Christophe Guilou was speaking in Yaoundé today after an audience with External Relations Minister Mbelambala. Details with Charles Ebune.
A few days ago, a summit to combat terrorism in the Lake Chad Basin Commission area and the Sahel was held in Chad with the virtual participation of the French President Emmanuel Macron, one of the key actors of the fight against terrorism in this area, and Cameroon being one of the countries hit by terrorism in this zone, normal that the relations between Yaoundé and Paris are reviewed in such areas, and possibly this was one of the points of discussion between the French ambassador to Cameroon, Christophe Guilou, and the Minister of External Relations, Mbelambala.
We had an extensive exchange of views about the situation in Cameroon, obviously, and the bilateral relation between the two countries.
And talking about bilateral cooperation between Cameroon and France, France was one of the earliest countries to support the reconstruction of the northwest and southwest to the tune of roughly 40 billion CFA francs in the crisis-hit areas.
We're still looking at how we are going to disperse this funding, and you have to know that we have some major projects.
Yaoundé and Paris regularly exchange diplomatic notes, and today's audience between the French ambassador to Cameroon, Christophe Guilou, and External Relations Minister Mbelambala was just one of such occasions.
Now, Fake news spreading in town from unknown individuals on the vaccination of children against COVID-19 today, Friday, the 19th of February 2021, has created general panic and fear amongst parents and students, leading to withdrawal of children from schools. As a result, 3 students who jumped from a story building are seriously injured and presently receiving treatment at the Kumba District Hospital as instructed by the state representative. The Senior Divisional Officer for Meme vehemently condemns this act and therefore calls on parents to stay calm and continue sending their children to school. Following instructions from the district medical officer of Kumba, no vaccine against COVID-19 has been authorized by the state of Cameroon to be administered to the students. The Senior Divisional Officer for Meme counts on the sense of responsibility of all parents, reassuring them that those responsible for the fake news will be severely sanctioned according to the rules and regulations in force. It is signed Tuon Dong Chamberlain, Senior Divisional Officer for the Meme. The full right sessions of the Cameroon Fertilizer Evaluation Committee have started in Yaoundé, with the participants examining market trends, subsidies and fertilizer use to increase yields. The 2-day event is under the patronage of the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairobe. Ewana Epule reports.
Cameroon's agriculture is still weak compared to the country's huge potential in terms of natural and human resources, according to members of the Cameroon Fertilizer Evaluation Committee meeting in a 3-day ordinary session in Yaoundé. Improving the performance of agriculture depends on improved plant material and especially on the efficient use of fertilizers, which alone contribute by more than 50% of the increase in yields. Deliberations of the Mienden Statutory and Ordinary Session holding under the patronage of the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Gabriel Mbairobe, center on validating experimentation protocols.
Some of these companies have bad faith because they want to increase weight of the fertilizers that they are producing. Some add sands, add flowers to it, which is dangerous to our crops. And that is why they have already analyzed the different fertilizers that have been proposed for the marketability.
The marketing authorization application for 99 fertilizer formulations will help consolidate the subsector's contribution to Cameroon's economic and social development.
The delegation of Cameroonian entrepreneurs on a business exchange trip to Kigali has paid a visit to the Rwanda Stock Exchange. The 10-year-old financial market is one of the youngest in Africa, but has listed 10 companies. Alphonse Abongo Achi reports on the peculiarity of the Rwanda Stock Exchange.
The Rwanda Stock Exchange was created in 2011 with specific missions.
The reason of being of the exchange of the stock market in Rwanda was to be able to fund our economy. That's one. For long-term finance for businesses in general and government. And on the other side, to provide an avenue where people who have worked for their money, the savers out there can save in credible sectors of the economy.
Today, the Rwanda Stock Exchange counts some 10 listed companies, most of them giants. In an economy dominated by small and medium-sized enterprises, officials of the structure have established a clinic for holders of these SMEs to better gain the basics of business management and sustainability.
If you don't go the traditional way of stock markets and stock exchanges, these companies may not be eligible to access finance through the stock market. So we've realized we have created this clinic. We call it a clinic because we know everyone needs a health check. So we go to those companies, small, medium, and enterprises, startups. We start helping them to clean up their books, to clean up their own governance structures and the business structures, so that they are able to be investor ready.
The Cameroonian delegation of entrepreneurs on visit at the Rwanda Stock Exchange leave with a clear view of this financial market, and this too is the main thrust of the business exchange visit to Kigali.
Heads of state universities in Cameroon have examined the new salary scale of university support staff and the living conditions of students and the COVID-19 pandemic. This Friday, extraordinary session of the heads of state universities was presided over by the rector of the Yaoundé 1 University, Professor Maurice Aurelien Soso. Victor Siga was there.
The extraordinary session regrouping heads of state universities centered essentially on the new salary scale for support staff in their institutions. Issues like the recruitment of new personnel, ways of improving the conditions of students, and evaluation of works done so far and perspectives were amongst the issues addressed.
The fourth installment of the 2020 University Research Benefits to Teachers and the Excellence Award to students are available since January 28, 2021.
The platform equally served to finalize the decisions adopted during the first evaluation meeting held on March 6, 2020.
Cameroonian youths have been commended for their high sense of responsibility and civic values in making the 55th edition of the Youth Day a success. Youth Affairs and Civic Education Minister Mununa Fotsu was speaking today during an evaluation meeting of the celebration. Karin Sandra Eyike was there.
There was no traditional march past at this year's youth celebration due to COVID-19 constraint, but this did not in any way make the feast a fiasco, as another format to make the celebration beautiful was quickly sorted out by the state.
The Cameroonian youth succeeded to celebrate the Youth Day thanks to their ingenuity, their creativity, particularly through digital platforms, that's the ICTs, that they master.
Upon evaluating the different activities that immortalized this year's Youth Day, Minister Mununa Fotsu hailed Cameroonians' youth for their bravery and sense of patriotism.
One of the main objectives of Youth Connect Cameroon is to create an interaction, an interconnection between young people with the government. So it's very important for us to celebrate, to bring out the talented young Cameroonians.
With the 55th edition gone in the annals, preparation for next year's Youth Day events are already being worked out at the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Civic Education.
Minister of Social Affairs Pauline Irene has called on the newly appointed officials by the November 16, 2020 presidential decree at the ministry to propose rapid solutions to the needs of the vulnerable populations of the country. She was speaking today in Yaoundé while installing into their functions the recently appointed members and decorating some staff with the Knights of Order of Valor, who have details with Joyce Tata.
The Ministry of Social Affairs welcomes 20 newly appointed to various central services for a more efficient output. A dual ceremony equally witnessing the decoration of some staff at the ministry, congratulated by the head of state for their hard work in establishing government policies for the good of all.
This is a sign that the work that you do, it is being appreciated.
Our service is like the disciplinarian in that ministry. With my collaborators and with the help of God, I will deliver the goods.
Minister Pauline Irene of Social Affairs seized the occasion to encourage them, reinforce and ameliorate the living conditions of old persons, handicapped, indigenous people and underprivileged children while meeting their fundamental needs.
The tireless pursuit of excellence in everything leads to success.
They were handed the mantle in the presence of family, loved ones and well-wishers in joy and celebration.
The Minister of Decentralization and Local Development, George Elangobam, has paid an official visit to the South region. During a working session with mayors and local development actors, the minister insisted that development will be faster if all stakeholders play their roles diligently. Clarence Aze reports from the South.
The meeting, which marks the end of the tour of Minister George Elanga Obam throughout the 10 regions of the country to school mayors on the policy of decentralization and local development, held in Camera. After 3 hours of deliberations, the minister came out with precise words on the deliberations.
The purpose of the meeting was to discuss about the good comprehension they should have about the General Code of Local Authorities. The councils of the South region were to be what the President of the Republic is expecting from them, actors of the local development.
The working session was also aimed at putting mayors to order with respect to hierarchy and also on how to effectively manage funds allocated to councils.
It was also to let them know what were the relations we want them to have with the administrative authorities, let them know the appreciation we do have on what they are doing with the 100 million that are given to every council, to make sure that they were the promoters of economic activities.
The mayors left satisfied, promising to be at the vanguard of the decentralization process, highly awaited by the population of the South region.
Providing assistance to Cameroon health services by facilitating medical evacuations is what some young Cameroonians are proposing with the creation of Voya Health Cameroon, a group based in Turkey. The outgoing Turkish ambassador to Cameroon, Ese Serak, says the service will improve ties between the two countries. We have details with Yoti Kaleli Songe.
From Cameroon to Turkey for health services that need more sophisticated medical appliances and expertise, such as cancer treatment, liver transplant, and bone grafting. Voya Health Cameroon, an initiative of some young Cameroonians backed by the Turkish government, comes to facilitate medical evacuations.
It's a very excellent, successful initiative. We believe that it will be very successful, and our countries have very good bilateral relations in several domains, and health is one of the most important one. We believe that our Cameroonian sisters and brothers will come to Cameroon very healthy and satisfied.
The group is already in 8 countries across the globe and hopes to work in collaboration with the Cameroonian government to save lives.
Cameroon is one of the subsidiaries of Voya Group based in Turkey, in Istanbul, who is operating in the medical tourism sector.
With the assistance of other practicing medical practitioners here, the group seeks to give hope to patients in dire need of recovery.
The people of Tokombere in Mayosava division of the Far North region have condemned political manipulation and reassured President Paul Biya of their loyalty to state institutions. They took the stand during the installation of Tokombere Council executive members. Ayuk John Ashu reports that the Speaker of Cameroon's National Assembly, Honorable Kavai Yege Jibril, was present.
The population of Tokombere is unanimous that their unconditional attachment to President Paul Biya and the CPDM is an asset to their socio-economic development. In the presence of House Speaker, the Right Honorable Kavayege Jibril, illustrious son of the soil, a cross-section of the elite of Mayosava and CPDM bigwigs from across the board, they pledged collaboration with the council executive charged with the responsibility of piloting Tokombere subdivision to emergence under the leadership of its mayor.
We have to improve our development in our area, to build the schools, the water, electricity. By the place of gold, we will achieve our aim.
To give government's unction to the authorities of the municipality, the senior divisional officer from Mayosava solemnly installed the mayor and his deputies decked with insignia.
The mayor should transform the environment of their population. The SO is alongside the mayor to help him to achieve his mission.
Meanwhile, in a motion of support, the people of Tokombere castigated all divisive tendencies and renewed their loyalty to President Paul Biya, his political party, and institution he incarnates.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
More than 33,000 people have been tested COVID-19 positive in Cameroon since the first cases were confirmed in March 2020. Over 500 deaths have been reported. Public health officials have been calling for vigilance with the resurfacing of the pandemic. For more on COVID-19 updates, let's join Baldwin Sama at the Public Health Emergency Center. Hello, Baldwin.
Good evening to you, Moki Edwin Kinzeka. More and more persons get tested positive for COVID-19, and as per the latest statistics made public by the Minister for Public Health since March 2020 and the date for today, we have had 33,749 Cameroonians who have been tested positive for COVID-19 in Cameroon. 31,362 Cameroonians have recovered from COVID-19, and we have had 523 Cameroonians who have died of COVID-19. If you should take the number of persons who have died of COVID-19 from the last statistics we had on the 11th of February this year, that stood at 500, and the date of today, the 19th of February, it means that 23 more Cameroonians have died of COVID-19 between the 11th of February and the 19th of February this day. So it is something very, very serious. So 523 Cameroonians have so far died of COVID-19, with 2,200 active cases, persons living with the virus in the different regions of Cameroon, with 33 of them under oxygen in the different hospitals, and the recovery rate so far stands at 93%, quite impressive for Cameroon, and the death rate that stands at 1.5%, with the key message from the Minister for Public Health, who is calling on more responsibility on the part of each Cameroonian. We should continue respecting the different outlined barrier measures so as to be able to limit the spread of this virus, the virus that's still very much present among us, the virus that circulates in the society. Back to you, Moki Edwin Kinzeka.
Thanks, Baldwin Sama. If you're just joining us, you're watching the 7:30 News on CRTV. Thank you. 28-year-old Nchanji Clinton 4, who emerged as winner of the MTN Cameroon Special Promotion Package in the Southwest region, has received a brand new car. He was equally endorsed as MTN Branch Ambassador for the South, or Brand Ambassador for the Southwest region. Prizes to winners across the country were also handed over during the occasion in Boya. Tanjong Levis Agbo reports.
A dream come true. Just with a bundle of 250 francs CFA, Chandri Clinton 4 went back home with a brand new car. MTN Cameroon's 20-on-20 promotion is one of the most amazing draw packages to its customers for over 20 years in the country.
I activated 250 francs that I won this car with. I transferred from my mobile money to my main account in my phone. Then I activated Wanda bundle for that they gave me 1,400 francs plus 4,000 bundle that I call only MTN with. MTN has changed my life. Thank you. I want to thank MTN and thank God also. Thank you.
With the sum of 20,000 francs CFA cash every 20 minutes to lucky winners and the sum of 20 million francs CFA to be won, the mobile network company is urging its customers to remain loyal to their services.
A historic day in this region. A historic day because we are celebrating the 16th car of MTN. There is no other proof than this type of proof to show the authenticity of the MTN promotion.
What has MTN got to offer to the people of Boya and everywhere in Cameroon is that you stand a chance of winning this car. We have 2 more to be won. Once you buy credit of about 250 francs minimum, or you do a Momo transaction of 5,000 francs, you stand a chance of winning. Use MTN, use Momo, and you stand a chance of winning.
As one of the most prominent telecommunications company in Africa with several awards and over 8.7 million subscribers in Cameroon, MTN's goal is to provide the best of services to its customers.
The city of Bafoussam in the West region is set to host the 9th edition of its Independent International Film Festival, FACEIP. It was kick-started on March 24 during an artistic night ahead of the festival. The matron of the event, Barrister Dr. Fotso Faustine, was presented to the audience. Chetembok reports from CRTV West in Bafoussam.
During the colorful evening with a fashion parade in display, stand-up theater, musical tunes and the like, the event took the people by storm. Barrister Dr. Fotso Fotsin was presented as matron to the audience, an occasion she also used to encourage the initiative through a cash donation of 1 million francs CFA. That generosity was emulated by other sons and daughters of the area.
We should be together to build our region. We should be work very hard to develop our region.
This year's event is being celebrated under the theme Film Festival, a local development factor. It should be recalled that FICIP aims to promote independent film productions and encourage cultural diversity and cinematography, amongst others.
Cameroon singer Henri Dikonge will this weekend celebrate the 25th anniversary of his music career in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. This, among other shows, will be thrilling fans nationwide this weekend. Victor Siga has a rundown of some weekend shows that you may love to attend.
Start the weekend tonight with Ndedi Yango, Alaji Toure and Moni Bile at exactly 8 p.m. in Dedo Douala in the littoral region. The show takes place at the Mulatako Club and Makosa lovers are awaited. Henri Dikonge will be sharing his 25th anniversary cake this Saturday at the conference center in Yaoundé at 8 p.m. in a show with Etienne Bape. Take the rendezvous and celebrate in music with the duo. See this Saturday, Tati Eyong is inviting you for a live concert at 6 p.m. prompt. Join her at La Villa Bay in the Bastos neighborhood in Yaoundé and take part in the karaoke and dancing competition. Bijou Solo, Bimas Bizou and Eboué Chaleur will be live this Sunday at Carrefour Ekundum here in Yaoundé. Join them at 9 p.m. It is on this latest single of Caress Photo, Peyu, that we wish you a happy weekend.
And before we leave you, this announcement coming in from the Southwest region, precisely in Meme Division. Due to the fake news spreading in town from unknown individuals on the vaccination of children against COVID-19 today, Friday, the 19th of February 2021, has created general panic and fear amongst parents and students, leading to withdrawal of children from schools. As a result, 3 students who jumped from a story building are seriously injured and presently receiving treatment at the Kumba District Hospital as instructed by the state representative in that area. The senior divisional officer for Meme vehemently condemns this act and therefore calls on parents to stay calm and continue sending their children to school. Following consultation from the district medical officer in Kumba, no vaccine against COVID-19 has been authorized by the state of Cameroon to be administered to children and to students in that division. The senior divisional officer for Meme counts on the sense of responsibility of all parents, reassuring them that those responsible for the fake news will be severely sanctioned according to the rules and regulations in force. It is signed Tuondong Chamberlain, who is SDO for the Meme division. And that's where we end this evening's 7:30 news on CRTV. Join Lucrece Mebenga in exactly 30 minutes for the news in the French language. I am Moki Edwin Kinzika in Yaoundé. Thank you for watching.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
une chose que font tous les savons, c'est bien un lavage. Des seaux aux bassines, des salles de bain au ruisseau. Et entre autres.
Tous les savons lavent.
Oui, mais Protex est différent. Sa formule réinventée à base d'huile de lin renforce les défenses naturelles anti-germes de votre peau en vous protégeant 10 fois plus contre 99,9% des germes. Alors, qu'est-ce qui nous maintient en bonne santé?
Protex.
Protex, une bonne santé commence ici.
Un voyage périlleux à cause du mauvais état de la route à la découverte d'un melting pot situé à environ 260 km de la ville de Maroua. Ousseri, chef-lieu du Logoné-Chari dans la région de l'extrême nord, s'est imposé au fil des ans comme une véritable cité des affaires et de brassage culturel. Un carrefour où vivent en harmonie plusieurs peuples d'origines diverses. Le multiculturalisme et l'unité nationale sont de réalités palpables ici. Un résumé du Cameroun dans une ville, peut-on dire.
En tant que chef-lieu du département de Logoné-Chari, toute l'administration du département est représentée ici. L'histoire nous dit que c'est un site Sao, dont les descendants sont les Kotoko, comme vous le savez. Ousseri, c'est elle qui a vu Raba, n'est-ce pas, rendre l'âme ici. En sortant pour aller à Maroua, à droite, il y a un monument là. Et en parcourant donc Ousseri, vous voyez encore deux monuments qui nous disent que c'est là où celui qui a combattu Rabat jusqu'à ces derniers jours est aussi tué avec l'arrivée de la route Boutimé-Maroua-Ousseri en 1972. À l'arrivée